So we're cooking Branzino, we're working with Japanese ingredients, maybe French technique, and we're plating it and pulling up in the coupe.
What is up, world? Whole Branzino. Brought it back from the grocery store whole. The first thing we want to do is get some scissors or a knife and clip off the fins. If you don't feel like doing this, ask the fish guy, he'll fillet it for you, but I figured I'd bring it home and show y'all. You notice I went at an angle underneath the gills, pressing firmly on the flesh, and then cutting the first fillet off. No meat on the bone. That's how we got to do it. Same deal here. Angle your knife underneath the gills there, and you just want to run that knife right through those bones. Fillet gets pulled off. We didn't leave a whole lot of meat. That's a good sign. Split this guy in half. You can use it for soup. You can use it for stock. Pull that off. Clean it up nice. Now we have to take the pin bones out. You can't use tweezers, they're just too tough, so do a V-cut. Slice one side of the bone structure and then the other side, and then turn the knife, but make sure you don't go in the skin. Clean off the belly meat there, throw that in the stock pot. Again, 2 incisions on both sides of the bones, turning the knife sideways and then using the tip of the knife just to pull that little piece out. Always store your fish flesh side down. Now it's on to the vinaigrette. I have some Meyer lemons, some regular lemons, some limes. We took off the zest with a microplane. Roll these babies out to release the juices, cut them in half, and then find yourself a pair of tongs. This is the easiest way to get lemon juice or lime juice out. Right through a little strainer into a bowl. Now you just want to combine your zest and your juice. Now we got some yuzu we're gonna add to that, about a tablespoon of yuzu, really nice citrus, and then some beautiful honey, about another tablespoon. White shoyu, this is really awesome white soy sauce. You can find it online. So we're gonna mix that all together. Next I have some raw pineapple vinegar from Hawaii I picked up earlier this year. Shout out to Vintage Vinegars, really nice stuff. Now our citrus is done. We're gonna grate some ginger right on a microplane into the bowl. We weigh it, so 213 grams. We're gonna add xanthan gum. It's 0.5% by weight, so 200 grams, that's 1 gram of xanthan gum. Now we're gonna emulsify our grapeseed oil, and this is gonna give us a beautiful emulsification without having to add Dijon, which would mess up our flavor. Look at that. Now it's time to cook the rice. We have this bamboo rice. It's a short grain green rice, natural color from Woodland Foods. I added some water. I eyeball it, but you can measure if you want 2 to 1. On the stove, as soon as it boils, cap it, 12 minutes, very low heat, and next thing you know, your rice is cooked. Now we're gonna season it like sushi rice with that white soy, some mirin, about a teaspoon of both. Next, the rice wine vinegar. That's gonna give it some nice acidity and contrast that sweetness. Rice is done. We're gonna heat that up later when it's ready to plate. Moving on to a lemon zest powder. So I take my lemon zest off and then I cut out the whites. The white stuff is bitter. You could blanch this a few times in water, put it on a tray to bake, and get it in the oven at the lowest setting. So I ran this at 170 in the oven. I let it go over a few hours. You can let it go overnight on the pilot. When it's all super hard, you put that in a spice grinder, blaze it up, and make sure it's like a nice fine powder. That's gonna be your seasoning for the end of the plate. So right here, I got bok choy on the plate. I'm gonna cut it in quarters. I have some oil on the stove. I'm gonna add some grapeseed oil and get my garlic light brown. This is medium to low heat. That's kombu. Next to the kombu is the bonito flakes, and there's our mise en place. So the garlic's on the stove. We got some nice color on it. We're gonna go in and get some nice color on that bok choy. That kombu went in, and we wanna add some water. This is gonna make our broth that we're gonna cook down and reduce.
All right, so we're ready to cook the fish. I'm gonna do an ingredient rundown, and then we'll get the pan on the heat. I'm using this beautiful rice that we cooked off last night. This is a bamboo rice. It's green in color. It's short grain, so it retains that sort of stickiness, kind of like a sushi rice. This is the citrus zest that we dehydrated, and then we turned it into a powder. This is that beautiful vinaigrette with the Meyer lemon, the lime, the lemon, and all the other love in there. I have some bonito flake. The bok choy is on the stove braising down. We started with garlic really slow, whole cloves. I threw a piece of kombu in there, sauteed it, got some color, and then we put some water in there to steam it down. The water is gonna reduce. We're gonna add this right now. Kombu goes in, right? So I'm gonna let this go on the stove. I'm actually gonna give it a taste. Oh, is that nice? Wow. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more water. So the kombu and the bonito just add that beautiful saltiness, almost like that seawater element to the bok choy, which is really gonna help our fish. These are our Branzino fillets. With fish, you always wanna leave the flesh side touching itself. So we have those ready to go. I'm gonna hit it with some salt. This is Malden salt. Get some on the floor, you know, and that's it. Let's get our saute pan hot. We're gonna cook this up. All right, so what I'm doing, guys, I'm going in with some grapeseed oil, which is a neutral oil that has a higher smoke point. All right, we're gonna lay our fish right down. And we wanna make sure, put our chef press and hold it down for a little bit. This is my version of a fish spatula. I picked this up at an antique store. It's flexible, it's bendable, so it lets me get under there nicely. We're gonna flip that guy. Going with a little bit of that vinaigrette. I like to let the fish sit on a seafold. It's gonna absorb some of those excess oils. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna build myself a nice little bed of that green rice. And that beautiful bok choy. We're just gonna come down this guy here. So there's yuzu in here, there's sesame seeds, there's seaweed. It's really, really gonna lend to the dish. Like that, like that. Just a little dressing right on top like that. And finally, we have that citrus zest that we dehydrated and turned into a powder. Thanks for watching, and I guess we'll see you on the next one. Salud.